Hi everyone, Erin Akey here, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and our topic for today is stress eating. This is something that I really think every human on the planet can relate to. And I love the way Plexus products truly help us fight stress eating. So we're going to start off talking about some ways in which you can use the Plexus products to help you in that struggle. And then we're going to talk about some other things that you can do if you really struggle with the stress eating. So it's important to remember that so often when we eat and we consume food, we're not truly hungry. And it can be very difficult because of hormones and stress and our busy lifestyle to really truly recognize true hunger. Now, one thing I want you to remember is that very often we mistake thirst for hunger. And so it's important to make sure that you are providing your body with enough water. And anything that is non-carbonated and calorie and caffeine free can count as water. So let's say you're having a sugar-free popsicle, or let's say you have some water and you squeeze some lemon in it, or you put one of those flavor enhancers that has no calories. All of that counts as water. There are many times in the summer where I will pick up a sugar-free snowball. To me, that's a great way to get my water in. So be sure, if you know you probably shouldn't be hungry because you've recently eaten, be sure that you're not just thirsty. And what I always tell people to do is have a glass of water and wait about 10 minutes. And if you're still hungry, and find something to do so that you're not thinking about it. And if you're still hungry in 10 minutes, then your body maybe really is hungry. So let's start off with why I love the Plexus products and how they help me with my stress eating. That's what caused me to put 44 pounds on after gastric bypass. I broke in my back and was stress eating terribly. So here's the thing. When you use the Plexus Slim and you use it with the BioCleanse and the ProBio 5, there we go, and you're doing that Triplex combo, this is a wonderful tool to combat stress eating. Why? It gets your body in balance, it gets your blood sugar in balance, and these are all things, when your blood sugar starts doing this and your body's out of whack, it will cause you to think you're hungry, it will cause cravings, and it will stress you out. And then it will lead to stress eating. So be sure that you're using that Triplex combo and that you're using it daily and faithfully. Also, a lot of people who struggle with mood and things like that have said that our Accelerator product really helps with their mood issues. I hear that from a lot of people, and that it just makes them feel good. And it's the same thing with the Triplex. When you feel good, you tend to feel less stress. So when you're on that Triplex and you start feeling good and your stress level comes down, you're naturally going to start making some better eating choices. So I love the Triplex. I love the Accelerator. Also, a lot of times when we're stressed out, it can have to do with vitamin deficiencies. So these two products I also love. I love the X Factor vitamin. I think I take 2 of these a day, every single day. One in the morning and one after lunch. And then our new Omega complex, which is called Mega X, I love as well. When you've got a good balance of vitamins and your body's in balance and you're feeling good, that too can help alleviate some stress. So let's talk now about Block. I love this product. It's a carb blocker. I love it. When I take Block, I find myself not craving the carbs, not wanting the carbs, and able to resist the carbs better. And that in turn is going to cut my stress level tremendously. If I'm not worried about all of that, then I'm not going to be as stressed out and I'm not going to be as likely to eat something that I shouldn't. So I love those products. I also love our Plexus 96. The 96, if you are just completely at a point where you're very stressed out, you know you're going to make a bad choice, if you mix up one of these puppies real quick, I carry them in the car. You can shake this up into a bottle of water. You don't have to have a blender and ice and all that. And you do this. This will fill you up. it will give you something in your body, and it will help alleviate some of those cravings and some of those temptations to do the stress eating. So let's talk a little bit about that, the stress eating itself. Sometimes we put a lot of stress on ourselves. So if you are in a situation that's causing you stress, it can be a stressful relationship, a stressful job, stress from finances. You really want to try and do everything you can to alleviate as much of that stress as possible. You know, if I've got a friend and every time I'm with that friend, they leave me completely stressed out, then maybe I need to limit the amount of time that I spend with that friend. And it's the same thing with a family member. We all have that family member who we love dearly, but they just stress us out. Well, you don't cut people out of your life, you know, unless it's a completely toxic relationship, but you can cut back on the amount of time that you're devoting to that person and spending with that person, because your mental health is a little bit more important. So if you're overextending yourself, if you volunteered for that 500th project for your child's school, or for, you know, the ball team, or to be the team mom, it's okay to say no. You have to learn what your boundaries are, because oftentimes we will start to take on too much. And it is great to be helpful, and it's great to be superwoman or superman. But if you get to the point where things are no longer fun and you're stressing and you're overloaded, then it's time to cut back. Take a step back and say no. And you don't have to say no in a negative way. You can just say, you know what, Susie, that is an awesome project and I really want to see it be successful. So given what I have on my plate right now, I think somebody else would be a better candidate. And just say no. If you are stressed out at work, do what you can at work, leave the rest there, and go home and completely forget about it. I have become very good at least 1 or 2 times a week completely unplugging. You know, this can be one of the biggest stressors in the world. Technology is great. I love this. I can completely work my business from this little puppy, but I have a family. I have a husband. I have 5 children. I have a grandchild. I have friends. And there have to be boundaries where you take this electronic device, turn it over, turn it off, put it away, and unplug. There's nothing going on that cannot wait a few hours. Take that unplug time. If you have small children at home, say to yourself, I'm going to take 30 minutes and do something for me. For me, I have to have a long, hot bath every single night. That's really important for me. You know, I broke my back, and it's one of the places where I can be pain-free. So regardless of what's going on in my world, I take that 30 minutes and I have that soak in a hot bath, and I'm able to just empty this out, decompress, and regroup. My faith is also very important to me. I find that when I stay connected to my Bible study group, my church family, and that I spend time in God's Word on a regular basis, that decreases my stress level. And for me, something that really tends to stress me out is the fact that I'm very unorganized. So I have my very lovely, trusty Erin planner, and I write everything down, and I stay organized. And I've learned to make lists. I don't get up every day without a to-do list. I used to be the most anti-list person in the world, and my husband, who's extremely organized, was a list maker, and I made fun of him. And my business suffered when I was unorganized. So now, you know, I'm still a work in progress. I'm pretty unorganized. I'm not the best housekeeper. Don't look around at my office. It's kind of a mess. But I'm doing better with this, and I'm learning to keep a list and keep things a little bit better organized. So the stresses that you cannot eliminate, then you have to just pray, ask God to help you handle them the best way you can, and don't let them overwhelm you. Also, if you find yourself feeling extremely stressed out, you're being faithful on your products, and there's things that you just can't control, look at your caffeine intake. Look at your intake of processed foods. So many of the chemicals in the foods that we eat can cause a lot of stress for us. So it's very important to remember, before you put anything in your mouth, ask yourself, am I really hungry? Why am I eating this? How will this fuel my body? The purpose of food is to fuel our body and to help us take care of the temple. We have one temple God has given us, and we have to take care of that temple. So if I'm feeling stressed out and I'm tempted to eat a bag of Doritos, which that happens, was my drug of choice as a food addict, Doritos and nachos and popcorn, I'll ask myself, okay, how's it going to help the stress I'm feeling to eat those Doritos? It's not. After you eat that, you're going to feel even worse. The stress is going to be even more on you than it was before, and you're going to start a vicious cycle that is very hard to break. So make it a habit of, before anything goes in your mouth, really asking yourself, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me? And just stopping, taking that moment of clarity to analyze what you're doing and the behaviors. You can catch yourself sometimes before you make a not so great choice that you'll regret later. If you're feeling bad, there is no way a pint of ice cream is going to help you feel better. One of the best stress relievers in the world is exercise. I find that people who exercise on a daily basis for maybe 30 minutes, they are able to deal with stress a lot better than people who do not exercise. So increase your activity level, increase your water, make sure you're being faithful on your Plexus products, and try and eliminate stress as much as you can, and rely on God, rely on the power of prayer, and surround yourself with positive, happy people who are moving in a direction in life that you want to move in, and try not to surround yourself with the negative, I call them Debbie Downers. You don't need people like that in your life. I cannot tell you the amount of stress I have alleviated from my life, and has my husband, in the last 2 years. Our circle of friends has changed drastically. Our social clubs and activities that we participate in has changed drastically. We completely made a commitment to dedicate our business to God and to serving God about 1.5 years ago, and it has just made a world of difference. So you can do it. Stress eating does not have to control you. You can have power over it. Just use the tools that you have, and rely on prayer and rely on good friends, and you'll get through. Have a great day.